Good afternoon. We are getting ready to start our webinar this afternoon. Welcome to all of you who have joined us. We are very happy to have you with us today. This is going to be a very interesting and I think very practical session for you. We have a lot of people who are registered, so I suspect we'll probably have a number of people joining us early on as we begin this. So we're going to kind of have some patience. I'm going to give this another minute or so to let folks join us, and then we will get started. So for those of you who are already with us, take a second or two to kind of look around the video space, your screen space. There are two areas where you can provide us with input. One is a chat area and the other is the question area. We're going to try to focus on the chat area today for both questions and responses for some interactive portions of this presentation. So if you would kind of get yourself familiar with that area, then we will be good to start in just a few seconds. And for those who don't know me, I'm Therese Brown. I'm the Executive Director of the Association of Catholic Publishers, and we are very pleased to be sponsoring today's webinar with Loli Lopez Montenegro and Esteban Traverso, and I apologize if I got those names incorrect. But we have been working back and forth for the last couple of weeks to get this set up so that it would be of greatest value to you. So a couple things before we begin. You are, as the flight attendants like to say in those early morning flights, you are on the flight that goes to, you are at the webinar called Faith Journals, where Catholic faith leaders and technology can meet and collaborate. So, as I said, I'm Therese Brown. I'm going to be your webinar monitor through the rest of the afternoon. And Loli and Esteban are going to introduce themselves individually. But before we do that, I have a couple of just housekeeping rules to let you know. We are going to be, as I mentioned, using the chat feature largely throughout today's webinar. So please familiarize yourself with that area. It will be monitored by me. So if you have questions or things you want to share, I will be passing on questions to Loli and Esteban throughout the presentation, and they'll answer them as they can, when they can. And one nice thing about chat is that we can retain the text of it. So if you have suggestions or thoughts, please feel free to add those as well, because we can copy and paste those into a document to share with all the participants. We are going to have some polls today, so please get ready to be interactive with us, gathering some information to help our presenters better understand who you are and what your needs are. And I think that that's largely it. So I am going to be here, but in the background. You probably won't see me or hear me unless necessary, but I'm going to hand it over to Loli and Esteban.
Thank you so much, Therese. And it's such a pleasure to be here with everyone. And we are very pleased to see the number of people that have registered and are joining. So thank you so much. And we are very honored to be here. Am I phrased?
No, you're well. You're well.
No, I just made you the presenter. Sorry about that, Loli.
Okay, Esteban.
And I'm Esteban. I'm the Chief Growth Officer at Faith Journals. In terms of presentation, I'm as well father and husband. I have been married for 20 years, and I'm father of 4 children. And on top of this, I'm involved in the many different ministries, like as a catechist, in adorations, in marriage couples groups. So this is a bit of my family and my different ministries in the parish where I live in London, in the UK.
So back to, am I sharing properly? Is everything all right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Esteban, and as well myself. I'm based in Massachusetts, where the company is located. I'm also a catechist. I'm very involved in Cambridge parish life, and very happy to be. And maybe, I hope some of you, I may know some of you. So, okay, so we start with this. Now, this is who we are, and we are Faith Journals. This is a company that was founded as a company just last year, but the company existed more than 10 years ago as a technology company. And we developed a software for writing. And we did 2 years ago a pilot with the Bible with one of the Christian schools we were working, and it was so unbelievable that we decided to pursue the idea of this software being applied to faith formation for schools, parishes, and other institutions, which is what we are focused. We have 2 platforms, Faith Journals and Faith Academy. One is for younger ages, 3rd to 8th, and also high school. And Faith Academy, which is for young adults and adults. And both of them are based on reading, writing, reflecting on religious material, allowing the possibility of interaction between instructors and between participants or students. And our mission is to inspire communities to become disciples. We have seen this happening, and we would love to see this everywhere in the world. By the way, we were also located in all the countries of the world. The platform has been used in every language, and we hope that when now it comes to faith, it also is used in every language and in every country. So now we would like to know who you are, because we know some of the people that may be participating, but before I go there, so yes, thank you, Therese. Let me go back. So if you don't mind to answer in this couple of minutes, that will be great. Okay, nice. 50% parishes, dioceses, publisher, and others. That is perfect. Therese, do we have a second question? I think it's just the only one, right? Oh, yeah. Okay. So if you can answer this second question, that will be great. This will help us to know and to have our conversation and our tools more directed to you. Let's leave it a couple of. Okay. Okay, very distributed, that's good. Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you so much. This is great. So now let's continue with our brief presentation. Am I presenting again or not yet?
Yes, you are.
Okay, now, but I don't see the slides. No. Okay, so this is how we see the landscape, and this is just more to have the background of where we are. So we have the church at the center, and then we have the different stakeholders around it, right? The families, the communities, the faith leaders, the religious communities and groups have movements, the publishers, technology, and this is all in the context of the diocese. So just wanted to show this as a way of showing all these stakeholders. Also, some of the dioceses, we have the schools and so, but today we will be focused on this area. So we have put together what we understand are the challenges for the parish and faith leaders, and what we personally have seen dealing with all the parishes ourselves, because we both are teachers in our parish, but also because we have been speaking with many parishes and dioceses, and we consistently see the same challenges over and over. So some parishes lack the faith formation programs for adults and families, which means that then adults and families are not really involved other than to go to mass. Declining numbers, that is the one that happens in every single parish, and particularly after COVID, because many people went and they never came back. limited resources, money, people, everybody's busy, because everybody is a volunteer other than the priest, right? So at the end, everybody's busy and they have so many things to do, and even the priests, they have so many ministries to take care of. Not enough volunteer training and collaboration. So even though there are some volunteers, we all do as much as we can, as best as we know, but it's generally a little bit, sometimes more than others, spontaneous, but without a proper training. Then low interaction and collaboration among community members or group, and sometimes they don't even know each other. And define unconnected programs and methods for faith formation. So some are doing something, some are doing something else, but they are not generally defined and connected. And then the seasonality. I think this is one of the biggest problems or challenges we have in the Catholic faith, because sacraments put this seasonality where we have First Communion, then sometimes there is after First Communion, but it's challenging to engage the parents because they don't have a sacrament and confirmation is not yet there. So then we lose them and then we have to go fishing them. But also the seasonality of summer. In summer, everybody disappears. In my parish, there are communions and then there is as if God doesn't exist for summer for many of the children. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we see. And this is another area also for publishers, because there are 33% of people here publishers, right? The publishers have another challenges that are it is hard for the publishers to get across the parish other than selling the program, and then they provide the program, but then there is no interaction. They have no feedback other than, if anything, at the end of the program, but it is more like a curriculum provider, and then there is no more interaction between publishers and the content providers and the parish. So then it is hard for publishers to know the things they need to change, how to accommodate to the needs of the parish, and so on. So this provides challenges in all directions. So we would like to know.
On top of this, in terms of the other content from external sources and new technologies that are coming into, in a way, in competition to what the catechists and publishers are offering, which brings another challenge, because kind of in general, we are all bombarded by information and content from everywhere, and then this is very difficult to manage, as well as for us. It's sometimes difficult, for them it's even more difficult, not only in terms of the content, but in terms of the technology that we are going to talk a bit later about it as well.
Thank you. So now we would like to ask you if what you think is, if these challenges are the ones you have, and select the one that is the biggest challenge for you. We will ask again. So select the biggest, we will ask again and select the second big. So keep in mind that you will have to be selecting the two of them. Okay. And okay, poor volunteer training and collaboration. Good, this is very helpful. Low interaction, that is very much what happens in my parish as well. Okay, great. Thank you. This Therese, are we asking in the second time? Yes, thank you. After we will share these answers to everyone so everyone can see what others think. Okay. Okay, so the second one is majority law interaction. Okay, perfect. This is great. And it seems pretty much what we have seen in our communications and conversations, work with parishes. So Esteban, I let you talk about this.
Yes,
now.
in terms of, as we were discussing earlier, in terms of the technology, nowadays what we can see is, for example, in any or almost any faith formation, there is, like, on one hand, we have the catechists who are offering some content. Sometimes, in some cases, they are producing some of the contents, but most of the times they are using programs from different publishers that are approved and well recognized. But then sometimes this content is shared and is kind of, in a way, shared with the different students through different platforms as well. In some cases, for example, could be that they are, like, I don't know, having a photocopy. In some cases, they are having the printed books. Through the pandemic, we have seen that parishes were trying to adapt with the new technologies and using a mix or a collage or in a kind of a very fragmented usage of technologies. So where there was not a specific system or solution that could help them, but we have seen use of WhatsApp, YouTube, emails, messages, Teams, and many other sometimes solutions, which all of this is quite, on one hand, challenging for a catechist, sometimes for a priest, for the publishers, and then on top of this, for the user experience is quite challenging for the people who are coming to our parish. So on top of learning something new, they need to kind of, in a way, manage a kind of a vast number of different technologies to try to learn. And this is what we are trying to facilitate. So if you go to the next slide, Loli, what we are trying to do is, in a way, to unify and to facilitate. On one hand is the life of the catechist, the life of the parishes. So our idea is to provide everything in one place. And then on top of this is to have the content as well, to complement what the printed, for example, contents or digital in an ebook are having together in our platform. So activities could be developed there, and then providing a unique solution to different communities and families. There would be a collaboration between volunteers, between as well catechists, and also, depending on the program, could be an interaction between the different participants who are studying. So Loli is going to explain a bit more about how this could work specifically in the two different platforms.
Okay, so that's why the solution we have is, and we provide, is technology to facilitate and to integrate and to connect all these stakeholders through faith formation. So for the young adult solution that we have, how does it work? And we will show you in reality, but just so that you understand what it is for. Is a tool or a solution to put the content the parish or institution wants to convey. So it can be sacraments, or it can be adult faith formation, Bible studies, putting in a course setting or in a program setting, including videos or images or PDFs or any sort of reflection. Then all the participants can read these reflections and then do their own and receive feedback from the instructor. But also, so this is individual feedback in this area, and I will show after. But then there is also a community sharing area where everybody that is participating in this program can participate, interact, and then they can engage. So this is...
Sorry, just in case, just to clarify, we don't provide the content. So the content is coming from the current providers, for example. So if you are using a specific book or program, you could say, okay, go to this chapter, read this chapter, and then write here about, I don't know, page X number, or if you go to the Bible, to this verse, and then you can add the verse there, and then they can write the activities. But we don't provide the content. What we provide is just the tool, so to facilitate this interaction and this, for example, time of reading, reflecting, writing, and then having the interaction either with the catechist or with the community in this case as well.
Exactly. And since we have some publishers, we are also in conversation with publishers to integrate their content directly here so that the parishes can take it from there without having to create anything. But normally this is so that the faith formation leaders or the priests themselves, because we have seen some priests that they want to do their own program. They have their own Bible study. They want to do the Sunday reflection of the gospel, and then they can do the Sunday reflection of the gospel in these settings where every parishioner could participate, doing their own reflections, and even interacting with the priest and others, because the instructors can be multiple. But also all the community could interact online. So, by the way, we don't mean to substitute meetings in present and faith formation in present. So what we want to, or we advocate, is for complementing it. So digital means and a way to deliver content so that it can be complementary to the meetings that are in person. So then we have the solution for younger ages, for 3rd to 8th grade and high school, which is the similar. It is the instructions provided by the teacher or the catechist in different sections, whatever they are learning. I'm using in my class, by the way, in my religious ed class. And what I do is that Sunday we learn something about the sacraments, or we learn about the commandments. So I put an activity about what we have learned. I take them to the Bible and I ask them to reflect and write a reflection. And then I provide feedback to each one of them one by one. And then I can monitor who is writing, who is not, and I can see real time what they are doing. And also as they write, they make points, and then they have their avatars, and at the end we can publish a book. But again, I will show you now in reality what it is. So just as a differentiation of the two platforms, the one for adults is you create a program, and with a link, you invite all your community and anyone can join. And with this, the younger ages is I create a group or a classroom, like in my classroom for religious ed. I have my students, and then I create activities and I do activities with them. So these two settings, but both of them are for allow this interaction. And the mission of this is this technology. What we are trying to achieve is encourage them to reflect and think about the Word of God, not just to know, to acquire knowledge, but to reflect and then write and receive feedback or accompaniment from the instructors or the priest, whoever is running the program. So maybe now I can share what it is in real time. Can you see Esteban?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so let me very briefly, I want to show what Faith Academy, this is the adults one, how it works. So, and again, think of your parish or your institution or even the publishers. So this is, I'm the priest or I'm the catechist, and I want my group of confirmation, or even my adult group. There is in my parish, there is this Holy Family Institute, or there is this young adults that they run, the women on one side, the men on one side, and then they read the Gospels and so on and comment. So what I could do is create one of these programs, and then here, create. So I, as an instructor, can create all the content that I want to be sharing at any time. I don't need to create the entire program up front, but I can over time. Maybe I want to do the gospel reflection. So every Sunday I add one of these chapters with the gospel reflection of this Sunday, so that I share with my participants and then they reflect. So as you see, each chapter, and I can add as many, I can include content in writing, and I can add videos, I can add images, I can add attachments or links to other areas. So this is so that I can share this content with the community. And then I have the link, and then I will share with them, with the community. I can share in the bulletin, or I can share via email, and then everybody can join. And as they join, I will see them here, how they join. and I can see what they are doing, if they are writing, they are reflecting or not, but also I can see what they are writing and then interact with them individually. So this is my community or my prayer group or my women's group, and then there is this content, and I'm sharing the content, but also they are reflecting, and I'm providing feedback. Also, we allow this discussion board, which is where the community interacts all together. So I have this. This is not just to have this one-on-one interaction, but also the community to grow together. So I could write my comments here, tagging in section 3 or section 4. I have loved this, and I think this is very interesting, blah blah blah. And then after I could see the comments, particular comments for the specific sections here. So as you see, this is a way of accompanying the community one-on-one, but also allowing the community to know and interact between each other. Also, we allow to have multiple instructors in each group, so that one can be the administrator, one can be overseeing, but others are the one more running and creating the program and so on. Also, by the way, I could duplicate. I have created this program, and I want to run for women's group, but also for men's group, but I don't want them together. So I can copy, and then the two of them could use the same program, but separately. And then there are general settings to just have some other functionalities that we can share more in detail if anyone is interested. So the participants will be able to, I'm gonna show what a participant will see. So I'm here, and similarly, I will be able to see all the sections that are visible, because not every section may be visible if the instructor having shared. And then I read the instructions, and I write my own reflection, and I share. And then I receive comments here from the instructor, and then I could participate in the discussion board. So this is to allow via digital means, to allow the community to give continuity to the meetings that are in the church, which are not so frequent, right? They generally go once a week, but maybe you want to give continuity. And even for weeks of vacation or weeks that are holidays and that they don't go, or even summer, you can run programs that are not going to the parish, or maybe not gathering in the parish, but maybe in continuation. So this is
and then on top of this, the part that is very important to us is the collaboration and this interaction in the community as well. So not on one hand, the kind of different instructors can participate and they can see kind of what the different groups are doing. Imagine that someone from the diocese wants to be participating, or a faith formation coordinator in the parish wants to be participating in the different kind of activities. They can be as well in each of them. But then the other part, which is very kind of important, is to create this collaboration where the community can meet, for example, face to face. But then on top of this, they can keep interacting and enriching themselves through the platform as well.
Exactly. So please ask any questions in the chat, because as we continue and we talk. So one more thing we want to mention is it can be used in any language, because as Esteban was saying, we don't have the content. The content is created by you, parishes, or again, as we are speaking with publishers, the publishers we will be able to integrate some content so that you have activities ready to go. But initially, it's meant to be created by the parish. So now let me also show you what the younger version looks like. So,
sorry, do you want to share anything about the journals in the other platform, or later on?
Yeah, maybe I can share. So here is in the journals, we have an area where every participant can have their own journal, but they can share with a spiritual director. So, for example, I'm doing the Bible in a year as everyone else, but what I can do is we have this area here to connect with with my friend or with my spiritual director, because I want to share what I'm writing so that they can accompany me in my journey. So I'm gonna go to one that I have already shared. This one that is already shared with my spiritual director. And then what I do is I do different entries with articles that I'm seeing or with my reflections from the Bible. And then I can share the entries individually with my spiritual director so that my spiritual director can provide comments and feedback and accompaniment. So this we think can be very helpful, again, to provide support, because many people really don't know how to grow spiritually and they have no clue. And it's a way for them to know that they have someone to go, but also someone that can listen to spiritual matters, right? Okay. Also, there is a library. Thank you, Esteban.
The library, exactly, yeah.
Yes, thank you. There is a library where the parishes can have their own content. All the projects that I have created, spiritual exercises, Bible studies, or even Sunday gospel reflection, and it can be videos. It can be all here so that it can be used and reused in different groups and in different situations. So now, if I don't forget anything, let me show you.
In the library, for example, if there are any content that, for example, the diocese want to share with all the parishes in one diocese, this could be done as well here. So, for example, where all the content could be in this library, and then each parish could have it there, and then the catechists or the faith formation coordinators could say, okay, yeah, go there, use this content that is has been already provided, and then, for example, as far as we are doing agreements with the publishers, we could have the content in different parts as well. So, or if a specific catechist is creating something, this could be used as well in multiple parishes or in multiple groups as well.
Thank you, Esteban. Okay, so let's move to the younger version. Now, the younger version, this, as I explained before, it has a different setting. It has the same mission, which is, we know technology, there are many people are asking, so why technology? We don't want them to use technology, but what we know is, and the young people, they are in technology, and this is how they communicate, and many of them don't communicate otherwise. So we want to meet them where they are. We want them to have an encounter with God through technology, which is where they are now more used to communicate. So this is why, yes, we will prefer if they are just with the Bible in their hands, but we know that technology is there, where they are 90% of the time, unfortunately. So what we want to do is provide goodness, and this provoke this encounter with God through technology. So here is how this is set up. Again, this is set up in groups. So I create my groups. I create my parish group, my prayer group, or my seventh grade classroom for confirmation or whatever, or after communion. So within each group, I have different students. I can have as many as I want, 100, 200, or 5 or 1. So I can have the number of students I want. And what I do is activities in each group, all the time the same group. So I'm gonna go to just this particular group. And as you see, I've been doing 3 activities with them. And in each activity, I have different sections that we call journals, and every journal has pages or sections. So I'm going to show you one of the ones that are going on. And as you see, it has sections or pages here. These are added by the teacher or by the catechist or the instructor. And we have some already created resources, but generally they create their own. And again, as in Faith Academy, it can be created over time. So I create one, and then next weekend I create another one. Next weekend I create another one, which is what I do in my classroom with my students. So I create them, and then every section we give a space to set up the instructions. the instructions that can include videos, it can include images, it can include attachments as well, it can include anything. And normally it will be good to have a passage of the Bible or any content that is being taught in class, and then a reflection, inviting the students to write. And then here on the side, you see some settings, like we can set up a deadline. This is for next Friday or for whatever. We can add vocabulary we want them to use, like Pentecost, if we are learning, or the commandment, or covenant, whatever word we want them to use or define or understand. We can upload files. We can also have rooms. Rooms is to put the students to write in pairs digitally. Then peer review is so that they review each other's work after they have finished. And we can also put grading. Private is in case we don't want to see what they are writing. Then we can also duplicate the assignment so that I create this assignment. I have 3 classes or I have 3 groups. I want to do the same thing in different groups, so I can copy. I can create PDFs of what the students are writing. So I can create a PDF of this particular student of these 3 sections or all, and including the instructions, the feedback, and everything. So we can create a PDF so that at the end of the year, I can share with the parents and say, here is what your students have been doing and the reflections and so. And also I can share in the library. I will show you the library later. So I hope I'm not going too fast, but again, every activity has number of sections that are created by the instructor or teacher, and then the instructions, and then these different settings. And then we have this area of responses here where I can see who is writing and what they wrote. So as you see, I can go to the different sections and see which one they are, how many words, but I can actually see what they are writing. So see, in this one, I have them writing in groups. So Maria and Vinicius were writing together. So I can actually see what they are writing. So I can click here and see what they are writing in real time. If they are in rooms, I can see what the colleague was writing. And then I can give feedback here and share with them as they write. So see, you can see all of them. So I have a question sorry, I just saw a question, someone asking, yes, we can archive projects and then reuse after. And we can, let me finish with this and I will answer, but thank you so much for the question. So again, we have this student and we can comment and say, hey, Vinicius, this is great. Don't forget to mention this. Don't forget about the Holy Spirit, and then share with the student that the student will see in real time. So answering the question, we can archive, but we can also share. This is the button, share to teacher resources. So we can share to the library, and I will show you where it will come. It will come to this area of resources where we have some other projects that other teachers or other instructors have shared, and then I may want to see what it is about. So Good Shepherd, I want to see what it is, and I may want to use in my classroom. So I see this one with instructions, Bible reflection, and I say, okay, I like it. I'm gonna use for this particular class for my 7th grade. And then after you can edit it. So it's not, you can modify, add, or remove sections, whatever you want. So thank you for the question. So now,
sorry, the other part, Loli, which is something that we offer as an option, is that of the content that the students are writing, the teacher can allow them to keep it private, or they can allow them to be shared with the teacher. So for example, if they're talking, imagine that we're talking about the sacrament of reconciliation, and the teacher says, okay, go and write there something about the things that you want to tell God, but I don't want to see anything about that. That's between you and God, then, or Jesus, and then they want to write anything, things that they can improve, or that they would like to discuss with the priest, everything that is all private, and then nobody can read that. So in that sense, it's like this is a kind of an option. You can share what that option is about, Loli, as well.
Yes, thank you. So briefly, because we also want to give room for questions and how this can help the parish. So now let me show you what the students will see, or the children will see. So I can belong to multiple classes as well. Normally they will belong to one. So I can go to the class that I was showing. And in this class, I will see the different activities I need to do. So I have this activity, I have 7 things to do here. I have to vote on what my classmates wrote, but I can, let me go to this one where I need to finish writing. So I see the instructions here on the side. If there are videos, I will see them here and I can watch them here. If I have teacher comments, I will also see them here and I can interact with them. And then here in real time, I will just write my own reflection. And what I write is going to be seen in real time by the teacher. I can also attach. If the teacher has do a drawing or something, they can attach it here. And as they submit, they make points, and then this is what we like, because, and they like it too, because they have some gamification where they can customize their avatars, and then they can put it whatever they want. They can put hair, or they can have t-shirts, another. So anyway, this is a little bit of gamification, not too much so that they are not too distracted, but a little bit so that they are motivated to write. So this is pretty much the tools. And again, the focus of this is not to acquire knowledge, but the focus is for them to reflect, is to learn and to develop a relationship with God by writing. So we also encourage that they write to Jesus, not about Jesus. So they write to him. So let me see if I can.
And,
so
they could write, for example, or they could even, if they draw something, they could take a picture and they could send the picture that they draw back to the teacher through the platform, because they could attach images as well, for example. So these things could be allowed as well.
So what we are trying to do is to connect all together and see how through technology we can provide solutions where everything can be kept in one place. Everything, communication, and even all the programs that are being done can be kept in one place and run, and then promote the interaction between the different stakeholders of the parish and the community. And also allow publishers as well to participate and to be part of all this interaction between them. And what we see is providing the following benefits. That is enabling the design and implementation of personalized methods and pathways for faith formation. So now you can plan ahead what are the things you wanna be providing in faith formation, but also once you have them, you can use and reuse every year and improve every year. And the things that are working, you can do it again. The things that are not working, you just don't use it. Then also it provides a complete solution to keep everything centered in one place and gathered in one place. Then also someone was mentioning about the intergenerational and family engagement. So we want to promote that through these tools, because there are different groups and the different groups can participate, and also can be groups and subgroups that we can help set up. This will allow to interact and invite collaboration between the different generations. Also, it helps the accountability. Why? Because I think is another challenge that happens is that at the end of the year, no one knows what has been done other than the person that has done it. But it's hard to track what has been done, and it's also hard to track progress. How do you know how the children were at the beginning, or even the young adults or adults, how they were at the beginning, how they are at the end, and what are the things that are being done? So it's a way to keep accountability about across all the programs, and also monitor the progress, and also monitor how they progress spiritually in discipleship. And then maybe even you can identify in which stage of discipleship they are, because if not, it's kind of, you need to just intuitively know, but here you almost have it documented, and you can assess more rigorously. And finally, it also facilitates this volunteers collaboration, because this can be another way, another tool to use to train volunteers, to have a group of volunteers that are being trained by someone from the diocese, someone from the own parish, but then having all together and connected, even if it's just by digital means, because even in my own case, I see the other catechists in their class, in the other class, but we barely have time to talk. But it will be nice if we have a means by we can know each other, even if it's just sharing faith through these type of programs. So,
and in terms of from the publisher perspective as well, is a way to bring interactivity about the content, because it's not just the challenge sometimes is, okay, you have the content in one printed book or in the digital material, but they don't know, you sometimes cannot gather like how this content is being used, or it's just a kind of, I would say, unilateral way of using the content in this particular way. The content could be used, but then there could be a reflection, and then it could reflect about that content and bring it back to the instructor. And this information is something that we could offer as well. So some insights about how the content is being used, which is very important in terms of improving it or changing or even testing different things.
exactly. So, okay. So questions, I see that we have some questions in the chat, and this is great. So yes, this is, someone is asking if this is available for purchase. So yes, we want to be partners, and we are working as a team member of the parish, because we don't want to say, here is the software, bye-bye. No, but we want to collaborate with you, and we want to be part of the team, as we are with other, right? Because we first of all, we have the team that develops the software, and we constantly improve new things. And we love to hear what things are maybe necessary, what things we can change, we can add, and also work with you with the onboarding, which is the training, the support, and everything. So yes, we are a software as a service, but we are part of the team, and we will be happy to talk with anyone that is interested in knowing how to use in the parish. So, so intergenerational, here someone is asking about the different languages. So it can be used in any language, and because the content is created by the parish or the institution. So it can be, you can have groups in Spanish, groups in English. Maybe you can have a mixed one, that will be more complicated, but it can be done in any language. So that in the parishes I work, one is Portuguese, another Spanish, and they have this challenge. Is now, how can we do the same thing across communities? Because the Spanish are doing very good things, and the Americans, they are not. Esteban, go ahead.
Yes, and the other part as well in terms of the intergenerational is about, for example, nowadays what we see, and is what Loli was mentioning earlier, is the fact that children and millennials are using the mobile a lot, right? So this technology nowadays is changing the way they are communicating. So in the past, maybe it was easier for someone to say, okay, let's say in a meeting, they would raise the hand and they would say, okay, I'm happy to speak up and say this or that. In a new environment where, for example, maybe they don't know each other, they're coming from a confirmation group, they're teenagers, many of them, they are shy, going through many different processes. Sometimes they are shy to speak, but when you offer them a digital tool, and this is what we see as well, they are like commenting a lot through a technology. So, for example, when they are reflecting back, you are surprised and shocked about what they're saying, because sometimes in the class they're so shy, they're not talking, and they are kind of not maybe interacting with others, but then they have a very deep heart, and they're really kind of allowing the message of Jesus to sink in their hearts. And this is where discipleship is happening. So where they have the time, because we are not offering like a quiz, or we are not offering a multiple choice option. We are asking them to reflect and to write. And sometimes when they need to write, either in the class or after the class, they can as well take the time to do it. And through the technology that they know, sort of writing, and it's not, again, just yes or no, but it's a bit deeper. And this is what allows them to in a way, almost to start reflecting and thinking and experiencing the love of Jesus.
Exactly. So, any more questions?
Maybe you can share our details, the slide with our details, so
Yes.
they can contact us if they're interested to.
Totally. Yes, thank you, Esteban.
So here you have our emails, so you can contact us, or Richard, who is as well helping us to reach out to parishes, to reach out to schools and to dioceses. And feel free to ask us any questions, either in terms of the how to use it, or if you want to have an admin account, or if you want to have like a test account, or as well if you want to know our pricing structure or anything else that you need, or even if you have feedback about saying, oh, look, have you thought about this, or have you thought about something different, then we'll be happy to chat and to explore. Our main objective is to contribute to the work that the dioceses are doing, the publishers are doing, and the parishes and the catechists are doing, so we can bring souls to God.
Exactly. We want to enkindle the love of God and help develop this relationship. Hi, Therese.
Hi. I thank you everybody for attending, and Loli and Esteban, thank you for that really wonderful walkthrough. That one of the things I know, I spend probably most of my day with 5, 6, 7 different softwares open on my computer, and without them I would be lost in terms of actually trying to get my work done. And so what you all have with Faith Journals, I really think is it's a very contemporary, needed at this time kind of method of engaging students. And Esteban, what you said about young students being shy, not being able to, feeling comfortable responding in class, but feeling much more comfortable when it's more of a one-on-one. I can take my thoughts. They know how to express them. They know what they want to say, but they want to do it in a safe environment, and with somebody that's going to respect what they have to say. That, I think, I'm always aware of the differences between students who are really extroverted and can like respond to anything, and students who are really introverted and they need some time, and sometimes the size of a group can be intimidating. So I think this is a great tool that really works well with the different kinds of ways of learning with children, middle schoolers, high schoolers, and adults. And so thank you for sharing this with us. For all of you who have attended, thank you for your questions. As you can see, Loli and Esteban are happy to continue the conversation with you. So please feel free to contact them at your convenience. This webinar is being recorded, and it will be available as a video shortly after we are concluded. The polls, I will share the responses to the polls as well so that you can see those. After this, you will also get a survey with some additional questions that Loli and Esteban have for you as attendees, kind of that post-attendee kind of feedback. So thank you once again, and I hope we will see you again. Loli, I hope you and Esteban will see you again with something more and helpful in other situations. Thank you for spending an hour with us today, and God bless you in your ministry, and goodbye.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you, everyone.
Thank you, Teresa, as well, for your invitation to participate in this webinar.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.